Welcome back again, Nerd Squad. We know how much you love these Batmans, about as much as I do. It's time to once again return to the dark and foreboding world of Batman as we count down the top 10 most powerful Batman villains part 2. We had some pretty epic villains and I just cannot wait to share even more powerful Batman villains with you. There are so many of them, so many! Batman truly just has one of the best rogues gallery around, and has had since Batman issue 1 when we were first introduced to some of the classics who would quickly become powerful Batman staples such as the Joker and Catwoman. Catwoman would even later become Batman's personal confidant, ally, and long-term on and off again lover. I cannot wait for that Bat and Cat Black Label series. Can you wait for it? Are you excited about it? I feel like we are getting sort of that moment that we missed out on when Catwoman left the wedding. I'm like, no! But we're gonna get some romance soon and some epic adventures, I think, as well between them. For now, let's celebrate some of these most iconic and unstoppable villains the best way that we know how here at Top 10 Nerd, by counting them down. It's time to get counting. Number 10. Two-Face. Harvey Dent might just be a guy with a really bad acid burn, but he's also one of the most insane and powerful Batman villains out there. And a lot of this is actually due to his smarts and his instinct. Harvey, having two distinct personalities residing within himself, oddly enough seems to actually make him more in touch with who he is. Because he's in touch with all the different parts of himself, I guess. It opens him up to all the possibilities and leads him to being one of the most observant villains around. Two-Face is one of the few who notices when Dick Grayson takes over as Batman following the death of Batman in the story arc Long Shadows. He picks up on the fact that this new Batman seems to smile at moments where the Batman that he's known for years would not. Two-Face manages to sneak into the Batcave, surprises Grayson, and then manages to capture and torture him. Two-Face also almost killed Dick Grayson years earlier, similarly to how Joker had actually brought Jason Todd closer to his death by beating him beyond bloody. I feel like that's something people don't credit Two-Face with a lot, but yeah, he almost killed Dick Grayson. That's pretty crazy. Number 9. Automatopoeia. Automatopoeia isn't a villain we've seen a ton of, but he's definitely one I would just love to read more about in the comics. Where is Automatopoeia? Bring him back! He was created by Kevin Smith and Phil Hester. He disappeared for a bit, but when he returned it was undercover in the Batman comic Widening Gyre as ally Baphomet. He successfully managed to convince Batman he was one of the good guys and infiltrated his home and the Batcave working alongside him. He even learned of Batman's true identity as Bruce Wayne. Batman was considering quitting, in fact, and actually letting Baphomet take over when Baphomet betrayed Bruce, revealing himself as Automatopoeia and killing his fiancée at the time, Silver St. Cloud. Jeez, that was a surprising moment. Pretty impressive stuff too. Before we get into that sweet number 8 spot, just wanted to say thank you for being here and also ask if you are enjoying this video that you help us out by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. Do it. It helps us out a ton, and if you haven't joined as a subscriber already, we would love to have you as part of our Nerd Squad. Thank you so much for your support. Number 8. Prometheus. Prometheus wasn't just a Batman villain, but was in fact a villain to pretty much all of the Justice League. In fact, he even managed to defeat them all, including Batman. Prometheus originally was out to take down any forces of justice who he sought revenge on after the death of his criminal parents, after they were basically gunned down in front of him, which, yeah, that sounds pretty traumatizing, and I kind of understand why he was like, I will get them. It's kind of a weird opposite version of Batman's origins actually when you think about it, except instead of Prometheus becoming a hero, he became a villain. Prometheus collected an immense wealth which he used to create tech to help him defeat the heroes, and he not only had his tech, but he also is known for possessing a brilliant mind. When he infiltrated the Justice League Watchtower, he not only defeated Batman, but most of the other members of the superhero team as well. Sayonara, Justice League. You down and out for the count. Number 7. The Outsider. Alfred makes almost as good of a villain as he does an ally to Batman when he becomes the Outsider. This villain was not only someone close to Batman and Robin, which obviously shocked them both, but was also revealed to be Alfred, after both teammates thought that Alfred was dead. Gasp! Alfred had sacrificed himself to save the hero and his sidekick Robin, but it turned out he wasn't actually quite dead yet, and he had been revived. During this process, however, he was brought back kinda wrong and was given superpowers as a result at the cost of insanity, which made him not love Batman and Robin but actually hate them instead. Some weird bizarro science. On Earth 3, the crime syndicate reality, the Outsider is actually a permanent supervillain, unlike our original Alfred, who ended up returning to his normal self. Thank goodness. Number 6. Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange might not be physically strong, but he is one of the original Batman villains and has been around in the Batman comics since day 1, appearing as early as Batman issue number 1 alongside Catwoman and the Joker. Hugo Strange was so deadly at that time in terms of the creations his experiments brought into existence that Batman would likely not have even stood a chance, not a chance against him without his guns at the time, which back in those days Batman often fought with. What's more, Dr. Hugo Strange has also known of Batman's true identity since almost day 1 and is ruthless in his pursuit of the hero, often aiming to completely destroy and murder Batman. Originally, he actually wanted to do this so that he could take Batman's place. Kinda became obsessed with him. And I'm not going to lie, I would actually be interested in reading a run where that happens. Maybe a Tales of the Dark Multiverse story? Come on DC, give me that. I want to read that Hugo Strange Batman. Number 5. AZREAL. AZREAL is now more of an anti-hero, but for a while he made for a pretty great adversary to Batman. Jean-Paul Valley was the man that Batman trusted to take over for him after Bane broke his back. At first AZREAL did a pretty good job standing in, but then he started to become kind of obsessive. He took things too far, becoming brutal in terms of how he dealt with and punished criminals who opposed him. In the end, Bruce had to fight Jean-Paul in order to get him to relinquish the cape and cowl. And in the Tales from the Dark Multiverse series, we're actually introduced to an alternate future on an alternate Earth where AZREAL never was made to surrender the Batman mantle, and as such only became an even more terrifying, tyrannic ruler in Gotham over time. Although surprise surprise, he wouldn't end up being the worst. AZREAL here took Bruce apart and kept him as a prisoner as a head attached to a robotic spine, which is pretty creepy, gotta say. Number 4. Scarecrow. Scarecrow might not be the most powerful in terms of physical strength, but he's definitely one of the most horrifying and effective villains that Batman has come up against in terms of making Batman lose his cool. His fear toxin typically drives Batman somewhat insane and has been seen as being so effective against Batman that we've also seen a similar effect come into play with the Joker's own Joker Venom. Over the years, the Joker Venom has become not just something that makes you crazy or makes you die of laughter, but something that also makes you hallucinate some of your worst fears. Now, why does that sound familiar? Yeah, Joker is basically ripping off Scarecrow. Not cool, Joker, not cool. I definitely feel like the Joker is just taking that inspiration from Jonathan Crane and then just putting it in his own formulas. It's actually probably just like copying part of his formula. So rude. Everyone's doing that actually. Everyone makes Batman afraid of things with their toxins now. It's all the rage, but Scarecrow did it first. He's a trendsetter. Number 3. Black Mask. Whether we are talking about Ewan McGregor's fantastic portrayal of the obsessive and sadistic Black Mask in Harley Quinn: The Birds of Prey.
Listen, you're gonna get me my diamond. I'll give you till midnight. And then I'm gonna peel off that pretty face and pickle it. Okay?
The Under the Red Hood animated film version, voiced by Wade Williams.
He's dead. Take care of it. You. New guy.
Sir.
Don't be nervous, kid. But if you keep staring at me like that, I'm gonna cut your eyes out.
Or the horrific comic book version in all his depressing yet psychotic glory. Black Mask has to be one of the most influential, powerful, and twisted criminals around when it comes to Batman's villains. This is a man who forced Catwoman to kill him because he just took things way too far. Roman Sionis is also known for his immense wealth generally, which also gives him power equal to Batman when it comes to his gang, his reach, and his weapons.
All thanks to the robotic savvy of my main man, Taboo. Quit hacking the remote.
Number 2. Lady Shiva. Lady Shiva is even acknowledged by Batman himself as being the best martial artist in his opinion in all of the universe. Which isn't surprising as, you know, she's managed to effortlessly kick his butt before in the comics and has come kinda close to killing him in my opinion. Lady Shiva isn't always a villain in the comics, but when she is, even Batman is worried about the outcome of fighting her. In the fights we have seen in the comics, it's never usually settled as to who the clear victor and who the clear loser between them is, but odds are good that Lady Shiva is often not even giving it her all when it comes to her fights against Batman, because even Batman seems to sense that if she was, he would be toast. Number 1. Batman Who Laughs. Currently, the Batman Who Laughs is kind of one of the most powerful villains out there, period. He moved up from just being an alternate dark multiverse Batman to one of the biggest villains in the comics. This isn't just because he's so terrifying though, although he is that too, but it's also because of just how cunning he is. He almost beat Prime Earth Batman in a one-on-one fight, and then he managed to escape imprisonment when he was eventually apprehended, thanks to Prime Earth Batman actually getting some backup when he most needed it. From there, the Batman Who Laughs has become a massive villain whose existence threatens not just Batman's existence or the Earth's, but the entire multiverse, especially now that he also wields the powers of Dr. Manhattan, which is pretty OP. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. Who are some of your favorite Batman villains? Are there any who you think deserve more praise and recognition for their villainous prowess than they're normally given? Which villains do you think have the best chance at defeating Batman? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight. Till next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.